turn into grass tiles. So we can increase the size of this field here. Or rather pasture. Interesting. I wonder if apples fall off the trees now after a while. Or maybe I foraged it. Maybe that's what it was. Of course, there should be a clipping as well if it was foraged. So I don't know what that is. These tree models are new to this version of the game. They look a lot better, really, than the previous ones did. But anyway. You can use clay to make bricks and stuff, I think. Actually, I've never used clay to build anything before, so I might actually try that now. Let's go ahead and open up a little room here. We'll use this for the merchant stall here once we get enough stuff to build it. So, stockpile. Let's go ahead and determine what we're going to use here. We're going to put our wood. I think I already did do that, didn't I? Never mind. Let's go ahead and start creating some planks, because we'll need those for the next tier of workshops. You can only have you can only use logs and raw stone for the first two, which are the stone cutter and wood cutter. Everyone else has to have planks and blocks. What I'm going to try and do in this one is I'm going to try and keep my pile production, if you will, my dirt and rock pile production kind of, wow, that is a hell of a lot of copper, synced up or not so out of control. In every single other game I've had that I've done, I've always outpaced my mining production with my storage of those different items, and so they get backlogged and take forever to move everything. I'm going to try and not let that happen this time. We're still waiting on... I guess we got this going here. So we can go ahead and move stuff over here. Let's go ahead and designate area, stockpile. I'll leave some space for the shops there, or workshops there. Goods, soil, and stone. But not blocks. We'll put blocks in a different area. And we can also extend this out this way when we need to increase that. These can be stored in piles, or these are stored in piles. I don't think they get stored in crates themselves. But they are stored in piles of 64 to a pile. So this will probably give me a lot of space to work with there. What we'll do now is we'll also build a small offshoot area here. I mean, not a small one, but a second room here for blocks. I'll actually make 2 entrances to it. And also down here, we'll go ahead and build the stone cutter workshop. And so it's, you know, from here over to here, essentially. Pull from here, craft it, and then store it here. So this just is to enhance the efficiency. Because if the worker here has to take their materials like down a floor or down 2 floors or somewhere else that's kind of far away, it's going to reduce their efficiency. So by putting them close to both piles, or both stockpiles, you shorten the time it takes to move things over there. And so it increases the productivity. Eventually we're also going to be making over on this side a pile for ore, and then another one up here probably for ingots off of that one. I really try to keep things compartmentalized. I don't like to build just huge open areas anymore and throw a bunch of stockpiles into them against each other. I like to keep things kind of roomed up now. The first map I did, I had that policy of just opening up huge areas of space inside of mountains and putting tons of stockpiles up against each other that weren't really related. And I think it really hurt the efficiency of my whole operation. So I'm trying a different approach here by keeping things related to each other on the same floor, near each other, and see how that works for efficiency. There was one more floor. Well, here we go up here now. We need to deal with these tiles first, though. Replace floor. For fields, all you have to have is a dirt floor. You don't have to have grass or anything. They just have to be dirt. But if you have clay floor tiles or rock floor tiles, then you won't be able to put a field there. So what we're going to do is go to agriculture farm. We need to really, let me see here, because you could designate, this says designate area as a farm. I want to see what that does. We're just going to make a small farm here. Interesting, so it does the same thing, essentially. Strawberry, we're going to do another one, just one over from it. Same size, I think, 6, yes, 6 by 12. This one's going to be wheat back, and then we'll do a third one, 6 by 12. I guess we'll go 13, just to keep everything kind of in relation there. Have to wait for those tiles to get fixed before we can approve it, though. Which could take a while, apparently. So we'll just leave those be for now. Another thing is that some workshops, most workshops, can be filled to the point where they cannot operate anymore, like these have. Well, we're already maxed out on this. Of course, there's probably other stuff in there too. Like food, yeah. And so they'll stop working if there's not enough room to put stuff. But there are some workshops that doesn't apply, like butcher shops. You can butcher animals as much as you want, and you won't ever be stopped as far as having a full work queue, if you will, or full output queue. So build, we're going to go ahead and build the carpenter workshop. Well, we gotta wait for blocks though, damn. That's right. Blocks are important. Of course, everybody's asleep now, so nobody's working on anything. Those are already overtaken now, so we can go ahead and go to pasture. I'll leave it right there just because we need some other stuff to deal with here before we extend it out anymore. This floor we'll use for cotton and wool. There are also two time settings, normal and double speed. Double speed just makes things go twice as fast. Let's go ahead and continue talking about some of the user interface here. For Kingdom, you have the Overview, Workshops, Farms, Pastures, and Rooms tabs. And really, this is just information about your kingdom in general. You know, the worth of the kingdom, the different types of objects in the kingdom, population. Workshops details how many workshops have no room, which are idle, and the actual workshops themselves over here. Farms, same thing, crops ready to harvest, seeds planted, plots tilled, and then the farms over here. Pastures, same thing, how many animals are pastured over how many can be pastured, and the makeup of your pastures in total. And then the rooms, determining, you know, all the rooms from the Great Hall, dining rooms, and personal quarters, dormitories, and all that, and the hospital, and the worth of those rooms in total. Underneath stocks, you can see all the different information here, from weapons, armor, furniture, storage containers, probably that are not put in stockpiles. The drinks and food. Then you have the actual stockpiles where you can see which stockpiles have certain things. Like, for instance, if I want to see which stockpile does wood or logs, we only have one. And you can use that to get around. Also in here, though, you can use this, which is items, to see how many items you have of a particular type. So I wanted to say, okay, how much raw stone do I have? Well, I have 422 raw marble. How about soil? We've got 905 dirt clumps and 108 clay clumps. And you can use that for all of these. Underneath population, you get to deal with your gnomes. You can see the makeup of the workforce here. How many different people are assigned to different positions here. The population total, the number of deceased gnomes, the number of idle gnomes, and the number of injured gnomes. Status of all the gnomes, what they're doing at the current time. Then you can also assign them to specific tasks from here. Professions, again, as I showed you earlier, allows you to make new professions or alter ones that are currently there. And deceased allows you to see who's died. And from there, you can also go even deeper into this, the actual personal information. Where they came from, or what kingdom they're from, or where they're at currently. When they joined your kingdom, of course, the race, gender, health, profession, and status. You can follow them around or move to them. And you have their health, the equipment they have equipped, their skills, and also the profession that you want them to have. You can set that from here as well, and also edit the profession for this specific individual. For military, you deal with all the military stuff. You have the squad list and the patrol routes and guard stations here that are listed here when they're created. You can assign squads here. If you do a new squad, you create a new squad and you can assign people there. But again, once you assign a gnome to a squad, as far as I know, they cannot go back to being a normal gnome. They can't resume their previous duties. They will always be either idling, no matter what their job is, or if you take them out of this, or you just leave them in this till they get killed. The formation, and you can change stuff here with that. You have the positions. And uniforms. So you have a large degree of freedom. You can have a basic soldier. Then you can have, a new one called captain or something, and they have much better, um, stuff for them. Much better, uniforms. You can have them say, okay, you can have, like for instance, you could say that the commander has a hand axe, and then you can say, whatever. Interesting. Battle axe, warhammer, blunderbuss shield. I have not built any pistols or anything like that. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, you can also identify the type of weapon you want them to have. For the record, I have never ever found any platinum. I'm not sure where you would find it at. But I have found pretty much everything else except for oh no, I have found everything else here. Never mined some of them, but I have seen them out in the lower regions, but I've never seen platinum, ever. But then you have events where you can see recent events like yaks being born, gnomes dying, other critical events, and also combat events for when you start getting into that. But we're going to go ahead and, let's see, okay, they're starting to build those. Let's go ahead and put the new farm in here. This one's going to be cotton. Yeah. And so what happens is I'll plant these fields and till them and plant the seeds there, and then they'll grow. I believe the length of growing is every 3 days for fields. That's when they'll be able to be harvested. So you have potentially 3 to 4 harvests per month, or season rather, except for winter. So that's 12 harvests 12 harvests per year that you have. So you need to keep that in mind in order to keep up your food stocks, because you do use up a hell of a lot of food, especially when you have a lot more gnomes. And so you'll have to keep on increasing the number of fields you have as you gain new gnomes, because if you don't, you won't be able to keep up with the growth rate as far as food consumption goes. For whatever reason, they always start with the, I guess from the top down, with the, what they store first. So, if you have soil selected and also stone, they'll only do, they'll do soil first before they do the stones, raw stone, because it comes first in the storage list. But they don't always do it, like for instance, this is still sitting here, they don't always do everything as far as what's closest. They deal with probably whatever's been created first. So they'll probably go through a list of things that have been created, objects created, and move them based on that list, probably. I'm not entirely sure how that works, that's why I'm not saying that is how it works. So I'm not entirely too sure about it. Like I was saying, we're going to go ahead and mine this out a bit. So we'll store our cloth and stuff there. We'll probably store furniture in this one. I'm going to go ahead and mine this out a bit more. When it comes to mining for minerals, you do want to start just mining out the entire area, because you want to increase your gnomes' mining skills so that they can mine faster as time goes on. So starting off by making them mine huge areas of rocks and walls and stuff will help them really improve that value quickly, which is something you need to have done. Well, I guess we'll do some blocks as well now, because we want to have those to build with. I think this floor will have the personal quarters here on this one. It's because there's more room, a lot more room. So at the moment we only need 9 of them, but we're going to need to open up this area a bit more. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a huge amount of mining here. Again, this will also help increase their mining skills, which is important. Let's see. Stockpile. Goods, stone, block, and I also store or pile coal into here as well, because they'll be using that as well for other stuff, for smelting and things like that. So I'll put that there as well. One thing to keep in mind is that doors do not keep goblins out, or animals for that matter. If you have doors around animals, if you have too many animals wandering around, they'll eventually find their way into your area, your base. And doors won't stop them from getting in there, neither will they stop goblins. There aren't any gate types of defenses where you can create something that cannot be opened by enemies. It's not possible to do that. I wish it were, though, because that would be a really nice feature. To be able to keep enemies from getting inside of your base. The most likely time you'll be attacked is when gnomes are out here gathering stuff up or tending to the animals. That's the most likely time that you're going to be attacked. And also you can be attacked by golems as you get deeper down into the layers here. You'll start finding golems showing up. Getting a head start in copper though, that's good. We'll go ahead and, while we're waiting for blocks, that's true. Still no blocks created yet. Once you've created one item of any of the building block types, you don't have to worry about that restriction. But until you have at least one of those built, it won't allow you to build anything, even to get it proposed for someone to work on until you have at least one of them. I'm actually going to increase the priority here and get a miner up here to work on this. You can increase the priority of either a workshop or a job in some cases, or stockpiles to make the gnomes do what you want to do at that particular time, but it's no guarantee they will do it. It just increases the likelihood that they'll work on that particular thing first. One mention on sleeping, of being tired and all that. When you create your rooms, depending on how expensive or how much the room is worth, that can alter the amount of time it takes for your guys to sleep off or gnomes will sleep off tiredness. For instance, if you take a room and make it completely out of gold, the gnome that has that room as their own personal quarters will like sleep for literally maybe an hour before they can get up and not have to sleep anymore. You know, it'd be equivalent of like 8 or 12 hours sleep for just sleeping on the floor. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're making your rooms, to make sure that you do so in a way that you can allow them to be upgraded as time goes on, as you find more precious metals and other rock types and such. What I did was I pressed E. If you push E, you can toggle the transparency of the blocks you have not discovered yet. But be aware that if you do that, you're actually going to be putting a lot more strain on the CPU, so this is actually going to be causing a lot more lag in the future. Once you're further down and have a lot more layers to show. So it will show every layer that you that's possible to be shown from the current depth you're looking from. But I guess there are sometimes that can be useful. Still moving dirt over into here. Let's go ahead and speed it up a bit. I'm wondering if maybe the miner... No, masonry, yep. Stone carving. They're just not getting with the program, evidently. Highest priority means that they should stop doing what they're doing. Stop mining and get over there to do that. So I don't know why they're not up here working on it for. So they should be. Rather than mining. This is another issue. Your miners will jump between different sections. If you have certain, if you have more than one layer that has mining going on, they'll do a few here, a few there, but then they'll move back down to another location. Or up to another location, so it's really not very optimized. The AI job selection still has a lot of work that needs to be done on it. But for the most part, it is pretty cool game. Some people say it's a lot like Dwarf Fortress or Dwarven Fortress, whatever that one is called, but I haven't played that one before, so I can't really comment on that. But it does play a little bit like Sim Tower or Sim City in a much less complex sort of way. Well, they're not going to be working on this no matter what, so let's just put it back down to priority 5. If you mess around with the priorities too much, you'll actually end up messing up your